Today I've got a PS3 Fat with the infamous yellow light of death. Normally the only real fix is a reball or replacing the RSX chip. But before going that far, I want to try something different. Removing the RSX IHS and testing the chip with direct cooling. First, let's measure the GPU rail. The RSX shows about 2.2 ohms to ground, way too low and usually a sign the chip is falling internally. Now the cell. Around 4.3 ohms, which is perfectly normal. Let's also check the RSX core rail under power. Watch the meter, it jumps up to about 1.3 to 1.4 volts, and then collapse. That's a classic overcurrent protection. The regulator hits the target, sees way too much current and shuts down. So the GPU, the RSX, is clearly the problem here. Before removing the IHS, I gave the RSX lid a light warm up, about 200 degrees Celsius. Then I slid a strip of paper under the edge to make a teeny gap. With that gap in place, I used a thin metal plate with a bent tip. Pressed gently. And the lid popped right off. On those early boards, the RSX IHS comes off without much effort. Underneath, the old thermal compound was completely dried out and cracked. So I cleaned the die, applied fresh thermal paste, and mounted the heatsink directly on top of the bare RSX. Now the chip has a much better thermal path to the cooler. Time for test. With the heatsink in place, let's power it on again. And look at this! The system actually boots and we've got video output on screen. Removing the IHS and improving the cooling was enough to bring it back to life. That's a huge difference compared to just a moment ago when it was stuck in yellow light of death. This doesn't mean the RSX is healthy. The resistance is still far too low, and the chip is degraded inside. But with direct cooling, it can at least power on and run for now. The only real fix is a full reball or replacing the RSX chip. Still, it's a fun experiment that shows how much difference cooling can make on these old PlayStations. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.